Okay, and that's kind of funny. So the first thing I tell you is to have a seat, and then the next thing I'm going to tell you to do is stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I must get more organized. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now they can sit back down. Ross, you going to join me up here? This is Ross Perkins, my boss, making sure that I'm doing a good job today. So when he asks at the end, just thumbs up, okay?
He's doing a good job. Well, thank you, everyone, for being here today. This is always an exciting time to celebrate the success and dedication of our paramedic students, all sitting here in the front row. Over the past year, these individuals have committed themselves to the rigorous study, hands-on training, and personal growth to reach this moment. It is truly inspiring to witness the transformation that takes place over the course of this year. From the very first day when they walk in, kind of figuring out what's going on, what classroom to go to coming today when they have progressed and grown in their confidence, their skills, and their determination. It's a remarkable evolution that reminds us of why we do what we do. Throughout their time together, each cohort formed strong bonds, built mutual support, and shared goals. They've encouraged one another through long study sessions, practical challenges, and moments of doubt. And in the process, not only have gained colleagues, but formed lasting relationships. This journey has been guided and made possible by the incredible leadership and mentorship of Sean Larson. Let's give him a round of applause. Maura Canalati, if she's here, let's give her a round of applause. And then Tara Wingate. You want to stand up? Raise your hand. Let's give her. Their expertise, patience, and passion has been instrumental in shaping the success of each student here. We're also fortunate to have a dedicated group of adjunct instructors who have played a vital role throughout the semester, and we'll recognize those contributions later in the program. Today, we just don't celebrate completion. We honor the commitment, resilience, and the beginning of a new chapter in service to others. Congratulations to all our students. You've earned this moment. Let's give them a round of applause again.
I feel like you guys, I don't get to see you for like ever. I see you at the beginning, and then you run away from me, and I don't get to see you. It's always nice at graduation. And then nobody's in uniform, so it's like takes me a second. I'm like, oh, there you are. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sean Larson, as Ross introduced, and I'm serving as the interim EMS director here, and I'm full-time faculty for the accelerated program, so some of these students had to put up with what you see up here for a long time, so they earned it extra, I think, this year. Today, we gather not just to honor this graduating class, but to recognize a group of individuals who have shown an unwavering passion, relentless resilience, and an unshakable commitment to excellence. These graduates have faced countless challenges throughout the paramedic program, long nights, high-pressure training, moments that both tested your strength and your spirit. And you guys have emerged victorious. You're compassionate, you got the skill, got courage. To the family and friends of your loved ones here tonight, I thank you as well. Your support has been the steady heartbeat behind every late study session, every doubt overcome, and every success earned. This moment belongs to all of you. Together we celebrate not just a career milestone, but the beginning of lives dedicated in the service of others. And so from all of us here at Aims, we look forward to the incredible impact that these folks are going to make on the surrounding communities. So congratulations for that. As we look to the future, though, it is only fitting that we honor those who came before. Our alumni have set a remarkable standard working on the front lines of emergency medicine with proficient skill, compassion, and integrity. Their success is not only a testament to their dedication, but to the strength of this program and the values that it instills. From saving lives and remaining poised in critical moments to mentoring the next generation, our graduates continue to make an enduring impact in their communities all around. Their journey reminds us that the path of the paramedic, is not just a profession, but a lifelong commitment to care, service, and excellence. Many of these alumni lecture here, they teach labs, and they are the backbone of our paramedic program. At this time, if there are any former alumni members from Aims Community College, please stand up and have some recognition. I would have had to sit down for that one. I'm not an Aims alumni. This time I'd like to recognize scholarship donors. While we believe at Aims Community College that we are reasonably priced, and in regard to tuition fees and paramedic programs around the state of Colorado, we are. It still is roundabout with all the lab fees, books, tuition, $6,500 for an in-district student, and about $9,500 for an out-of-district student. And if you're out of state, good luck. With that being said, a lot of students who come to this program would not be able to without working. If you guys know the wages of an EMT, sometimes they can be fairly scandalous. And that doesn't afford the opportunity for those folks to take time off of work so that they can go to school. Most people in this profession, as much as I encourage them not to, especially those two, decide to continue to work overtime even though I've advised them not to. And sorry for all the chiefs that have to make a schedule in the room. A lot of people live on that in EMS. And when you go to school, you can't work overtime. So having the opportunity to have these scholarships means the world to these students and makes it so that they can attend. The first one that I want to speak about today is the Allison Joe Jenkins Scholarship. Allison was an Aims alumni. Excuse me. She worked in Northern Colorado, EMS for Northern Colorado Medical Center and for Weld County EMS. And her life ended far too soon. It's in her memory that Rick and Barb Jenkins established a scholarship so that others may fulfill their dream of becoming paramedics as Allison did. This year, the Jenkins Scholarship awarded 2 students $6,000 apiece, and you can see how that pretty much covers their entire program. Obviously, I have a connection with that one. So, amazing folks over at their foundation as well. The next scholarship to talk about is the Daniels Fund Boundless Opportunity Scholarship. This scholarship is designed to assist individuals who demonstrate a need at undergraduate career and tech education programs with a degree pathway. This year, the Daniels Fund donated $20,000 to our paramedic program, and that was dispersed amongst multiple students. That typical award is $2,000 to $2,500, depending on how many students are awarded it that year. As one of the lead instructors for the last 7 years, I can attest to how much the Daniels Fund Scholarship means to the students who are awarded that money. The paramedic certificate is an intense 51 credit hour program which completes in either 2 or 3 semesters, depending on what cohort you're in. And like I said before, most of the students who are enrolled in the paramedic program still need to work full-time during their schooling. That includes some of the folks that are in the accelerated program. We're extremely grateful for the opportunities that Daniels Fund Scholarship provides for these students. Scholarship recipients will ultimately become paramedics and go on to help their communities in a more advanced role in EMS, and eventually become mentors of new EMTs that are going to foster the future of EMS in our communities. So I can't say enough about the Daniels Fund. And I can't speak about the Daniels Fund without recognizing Kelly Jackson. Her hard work with the Aims Foundation, as well as those who work in the financial aid department, in the application and the awarding and the dispersing of these funds, is quite an amazing feat, and we couldn't do it without them. So thank you, Kelly Jackson. Ross, did you want to come back up here with me?
I get the honor to come up and kind of introduce our new award that we developed, I believe it was last year or earlier this year. But this is the Brianna M. Kitchener and Natalie L. Perry and Dr. Walter M. Francis Paramedic Annual Awards. And these awards will be given out here shortly in the program. This award, the Aims Paramedic program, expresses its sincere gratitude to Dr. Walter M. Francis for his major gift in recognition of Natalie L. Perry and Brianna M. Kitchener, who are both practicing flight paramedics with Northern Colorado EVAC. The graduates of the Aims Paramedic program. This substantial gift recognizes their dedication to the field of emergency medical services and will enable Aims to foster a new generation of exceptional paramedics. This award is tied to our awards for the program that we'll be giving out here, and there is a monetary component tied to those awards. And I want to take a moment to recognize first Dr. Walter M. Francis. You want to stand? Let's give Dr. Francis a hand. Dr. Francis not only did this award, but he also supports our EMT and Police Academy. So thank you so much for your continued support in our programs here at the Public Safety Institute. I also want to recognize Brianne and Natalie. Are y'all in the building? I thought I saw you. Stand up. Oh, in the back there. Let's recognize Brianne back there. And I think Natalie is having to work today. But this is just to recognize this new award for these students that will win these awards later here in the program. So congratulations and thank you. Okay, Sean?
He gives me a break and then, clear my throat and those kinds of things. Okay, so at this time I want to recognize sponsorship agencies. So there are agencies who choose to sponsor a student, and they pay their tuition so that they can return to their communities as a paramedic and work for that agency and to respond to 911 emergencies. Sponsoring a student is a pretty incredible thing. I was not sponsored, so I'm a bit jealous. These agencies not only pay for those students to go to paramedic school, but they pay the overtime for folks to fill their shifts while they're gone so that they can better serve the communities as paramedics. And so I think it's a pretty phenomenal deal that you guys have. And so at this time, would all the graduates that were sponsored by their agencies please rise so we can give a round of applause for these agencies: UC Health, Thompson Valley EMS, Frederick Firestone. Yeah. Wow. That's like half the students there. Frederick Firestone, AMR, and Greeley Fire Department. So fantastic that you guys do that. Keep doing that. Keeps me employed too, so thanks. Ross, do you want to jump back up here with me? Okay.
Are you going to do the clicker? Yeah. Yep. So I want to take this opportunity to recognize some special guests that are in the building. First of all, I want to recognize the Board of Trustees. I don't believe we have any Board of Trustees in the building today, but they are the one that really set the vision for Aims Community College, and that is the vision that we hope we're representing here at the Public Safety Institute. Second of all, I would like to recognize the Academic Affairs Leadership Team. We have our Vice President, Dr. David Ayler here. Dr. Ayler, let's give him a round of applause. I'd also like to thank Dr. Leah Bornstein, our President, and Dr. Russ Rothamer, our Executive Vice President. And then, unfortunately, Dr. Susan Moreland is retired earlier this week, so she is on her way back to Texas. So I want to just recognize her for her leadership over the past 3 years. So let's give them a round of applause, too. Wow, look at that picture of me. That was a rough day. This program cannot run by itself. Yes, we have great people like Sean, myself, maybe, no. But we also have other people that are behind the scenes that really help make this program happen. First, we have Mary Gabriel, who's the executive director of the Windsor Campus. She really helps us run the campus, the day-to-day operations of what's happening in the larger picture of the campus. So I want to thank Mary Gabriel for her service to our program. And then Heather Logan is our coordinator, EMS coordinator, and she really takes care of everything. The mannequins, making sure the cots are working, making sure we have supplies, making sure that we have everything we need. So when Monday starts with the new cohorts, they have everything they need to be successful. And without them, it would just be another thing that we would have to do. So let's give Mary and Heather a round of applause.
A side note to Heather, the students are the ones that make my beard grayer every year. And Heather's the reason I still have a little bit of color left in there. Without her, I don't know if I could find my socks, so I appreciate her. Academic advising, these folks are our pathway advisors that really kind of get the students onboarded, and they're always there to make sure that the students can get anything they need as far as their degree pathways. These folks do an amazing job. Allison, Jane, and Bonnie. Bonnie, who also retired this year. It seems that we're retiring a lot of folks. But they do an incredible job. We wouldn't be able to do things for our students without them, so thank you to them. Are any of you guys here today? No? Okay. Next is full and part-time faculty members. These individuals spend countless hours on curriculum, coordination, advising, teaching, among all the other tasks that are required to make sure that students are successful at Aims Community College through the paramedic program. Without their dedication to our students, it would be impossible to produce the high-quality results that you see in front of you today. And so I want to thank those folks for everything that they do throughout the year in teaching these courses. These are the ones that lecture and run our labs. I also need to recognize adjunct faculty members. These are the folks, most of whom are alumni or work at agencies, and they're the ones that come in and put on our lab sessions. And as much as I can get in front of the students and talk a good game, they really learn how to apply the knowledge in the lab sessions, and this is where they get true mentorship and guidance through the physical skills of becoming a paramedic. Without these folks being the backbone of our program, we wouldn't have one, literally. So let's give these guys a round of applause. Now, this next part are the most important folks that run this program, and it's y'all. Without what you've done for your loved one to make them into the person that they are, they wouldn't have the heart to become a paramedic. Without your guidance through the year's difficult process, they wouldn't have made it through becoming paramedics. And so the sacrifices that you all have made to support the loved ones that we see up here is the crux, I guess, of why we're all standing here today or sitting. So please give a round of applause to all of yourselves and everybody who's involved in the paramedic program. Okay, so these students do a lot of stuff. So we talked about class and we talked about lab. They also have to go out to hospital clinical sites. There's something called student minimum competencies that the state requires. They have to see XYZ and so many numbers of so many things, so they're not seeing it for the first time once they're released as paramedics. They go to 180 hours of clinicals at various different hospitals. They go to emergency rooms, they go to ICUs, they go to OB, they go to the OR, and they go to the cath lab, they ride on a helicopter, maybe if you're lucky. They do CCT. Without these folks behind me opening their doors to let our students in to practice medicine on their patients, we wouldn't be able to get them the skills and the experience that they need to graduate. And so I'd like to thank, at this time, the UC Health hospitals, the Health One hospitals, and the Banner Health hospitals that allow us to do that. So, field internship. After all that 180 hours of going to the hospital, we stick them out in the field for 500 hours. Something cool about the Aims Paramedic program is a lot of programs in the state of Colorado have taken the opportunity to reduce the number of ride hours to 350. And that sounds really good for agencies who want their guys and gals back, right, without paying that overtime. But Aims is stuck to our guns to give them the 500 hours. This is a tall task, as you can imagine, for an agency to have a student for 500 hours when they need to train their own folks. And so without this 500-hour internship, I cannot graduate a student. So at this time, I want to recognize American Medical Response, Sterling Fire Department, UC Health EMS, Greeley Fire Department, also Mountain View Fire Rescue, Frederick Firestone, North Metro Fire, and Cheyenne Fire. Estes Park Health, Thompson Valley EMS, Morgan County EMS, and South Park Ambulance all have taken students for us, and some of these agencies have accepted multiple, and after multiple times begging this year to take even more, they decided to step up and do that as well. So I want to give them a big round of applause for training our students. Side note for them, sometimes those medics get a stipend to train new paramedics, but most of the time they do not. And so this is literally where they go out and learn from another paramedic how to function safely out in the world. So it's a big deal. Now, this is cool for me. At this time, I get to introduce you to tonight's keynote speaker, and it's Jeffrey Basmanowitz. Mr. Basmanowitz. You may know him as BAM. Jeff is currently the Emergency Operations Medical Coordinator at Larimer County Sheriff's Office, which sounds really fancy, because it is. But Jeff is a lifelong friend and mentor of mine. Man, right here, bro. Over 20 years in EMS, the countless amounts of EMS professionals, the communities, the impact that Jeff has had, you can't fathom the numbers that are behind that. I can't and wouldn't want to imagine a world of EMS that doesn't have Jeff in it.
Podium. Can I, is this cool? I don't want to break the rules, but this is much more comfortable for me than standing at the podium. Yeah, hey, I'm Bam. I got that nickname when I was 18 for good reasons. I didn't screw up and get that nickname. Like they just couldn't pronounce my last name. But it's followed me through a whole career in EMS, and that's what many people know me as. Really, thank you for the opportunity for this today. It's timely because I'm currently on the receiving end of what our healthcare system provides. My mother-in-law is in the hospital currently at UCL Anschutz. I'm headed right back there as soon as I'm done with this. So it got me thinking, like, when Sean asked me to talk to you, it became even more relevant in the last couple of days, where I was thinking, well, what could I say? Like, what's valuable? What would I need to hear? What would I want to hear if I was sitting in these seats? So as I kind of sat around and started piecing this together, there's a overwhelming theme that just keeps popping up in my mind again, and it's why. Like, why have you chosen to do this? Why do any of us do this? Why are we here doing this? You know, somebody asked me once, what is the scariest call that you can run as a paramedic? Like, what comes to mind? You guys have been through the program now. Like, what can you think up? Is it anaphylaxis? Is it performing a crike? Is it childbirth? Anything pediatric? Like anything pediatric. What about running a call on the chief of your agency? That sounds pretty terrifying. For the longest time through my career, when somebody would ask me that question, my answer was always the same. What's the scariest call that I can run as a paramedic? It's actually not the chief. It's the chief's wife. Man, could you imagine the pressure? Like standing in that living room, like he's staring at you, your boss, like trying to take care of his family. That was always the scariest call in my mind as a paramedic. But as I sat around and kind of thought of this like over the years and just in the last couple days, kind of a bit of a different answer now. The scariest call I think I can run as a paramedic is the one that I did not prepare for. Now, like what I mean by that is truly like I don't need you guys to like sit around and generate some huge list of like all the things you can think of on this planet. I don't need you to start training for a Sharknado or like a Martian invasion or like it's just not real. None of that's real. I don't need you to stress about that. But what I am saying, the reason that is more scary to me than running on the chief's wife is because it's the thing I have the most control over. It's the thing I have the most ownership over. If I did not prepare myself, that's on me. So I guess what I'm wondering is what kind of paramedic do you want to be? Hopefully, a great one. I hope that's your answer. But being a great paramedic really only matters to two people. There's truly just two people that care if you are a great paramedic or not. The first one's obvious. It's the patient, the person that called 911, the person that needs your help. They want you to be a great paramedic. I would argue they probably want you to be the best paramedic. Like certainly if I called you for help and you were there for my family, I would want you to be the best paramedic. But the second person, and really this is the only person that can hold you accountable to being a great paramedic, is that person that you see in the mirror every single day. That's the only person that you can hold accountable on how great of a paramedic you want to be. Don't get me wrong. When you go back to your agencies or you start applying at agencies and you go to work somewhere, there's field instructors and training chiefs and training captains, and there's people that want you to be good. They need you to be proficient. They need you to follow the protocol. They need you to take care of the people within the service area that they serve. But that person in the mirror is still the only one that's ever going to push you to truly be a master of your craft. So what does it mean to be a master of your craft? I guess it's probably a little different for everybody. I think different lenses of different viewpoints on this. But to me, like when I think of being a master of your craft, what really pushes me to continue to try and achieve that every day is just remembering where I came from. And so I hope as you guys go forward, you can always remember where you came from. Taking some time to develop yourself is truly what will make you great, is truly what will improve your proficiency. It's going to improve your bedside manner. A lot of agencies focus on patients first, which naturally, of course, right? That's what we're there to do. I prescribe to something that I heard Richard Branson say. Richard Branson owns Virgin Airlines. And he says, clients do not come first, employees come first. If you take care of the employees, they will take care of the clients. And I think it's true in paramedicine. If you guys take the time to improve yourselves, naturally, you're going to take better care of patients. So becoming a master of your craft, remembering where you came from, remembering that why. As you move forward, I hope you remember this, these seats that you're sitting in right now. Remember that everybody you will ever meet in this profession sat in these seats at some point in time. Everybody. Maybe let's take that a step further. I want you to remember when you were sitting in these seats on your first day of paramedic school. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? What did you want to do? What did you want to accomplish? What kind of paramedic did you want to be? I don't think I've met a lot of people that, if you were to ask that question, would say, yeah, I was sitting there, my goals were to be the okayest paramedic. I just wanted to get by. No, everybody wants to do good. Everybody wants to be the best. Everybody wants to be great. But when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're running a call for a frequent flyer that you've probably seen 3 times this week, and you're tired, you're frustrated, you're hungry, it's probably cold outside. And because it's EMS, let's just say earlier that day, you found out they're going to do a new shift bid and shake up your life and mess up your schedule. So you're on that level of frustration. And as you're running that call, I want you to remember. I actually want you to go back another layer. I want you to remember your first day of EMT school. What did that feel like? What did you want to accomplish? What did you want to do? I'd imagine your answer is probably a lot like mine and everybody else's. Like, I want to take care of people. I want to do right. Like, that's what we all say. But there's some truth to it. As cheesy as it always sounds, like, that is the answer. That's what we're signing up to do, is to take care of people. What a privilege it really is to do what we do. Seriously. We are often invited into people's homes at a moment's notice. Doors wide open, your boots are on, you're invited right into some of their most intimate areas, places that their guests and other family members don't even see. The master bedroom, the master bathroom. Maybe they've got their nightgown on, and you are invited in, door wide open, front of the line to the party. A stranger, they are calling on you to help them. What a privilege that is. You know, I learned a valuable lesson as I was probably well into my career at this point, and I remembered something I had learned when I was 16 years old, and I realized that I had gone off track a little bit. I had prescribed to that salty, crusty attitude, right? Isn't that the badge of honor for paramedic? Be salty and angry. Like, I was deep in it. And it wasn't until I remembered something I learned when I was 16 years old that changed the course of my career and how I started running calls, how I started treating people again, how I started carrying myself. When I was 16, I worked at Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A is a pretty robust and extensive customer service training program. Any of you who have ever eaten at Chick-fil-A know that when you walk up to the counter, they always say, "How may I serve you today?" They teach their people this. They teach their people how they want the interaction with the customer to go, with the guest. And when you're all excited and you take your food and you say thank you, what do they always say? My pleasure. So, piecing that together, when I would walk into calls, grumpy, whether it's the middle of the day or the middle of the night, and I do this one. What's going on today? What'd you call us for? Wow. How inviting, right? Don't you want to pour your heart out, tell that person your story, ask that person for help? But remembering what I learned at Chick-fil-A, I changed the invitation. I started walking into people's houses and asking, "How may I help you today?" And to my surprise, I would get way more information out of them. My assessments, man, they would just tell me everything I needed to know. I was able to actually start taking care of people just from that simple opener. How may I help you today? People aren't going to remember that you walked in that house with the latest and greatest brand new cardiac monitor. They don't care that some of your agencies carry whole blood. They don't care that you might be doing ultrasound soon. They don't care. They don't care. They will not remember that either. They may remember that you nailed that IV. You got it quick. It was painless. They may remember that you gave them the right amount of pain meds and fixed their pain for them. They may remember those things. But healthcare system surveys and studies have proven time and time again, what they will remember is how you treated them. Period. When you're having a bad day, when that shift bid came along and rocked your world, when you're tired, like, they are going to remember how you treated them. And if you take the time to perfect this skill, you'll be a great paramedic. Now, there's other important things, and I don't have enough time to deep dive into all this with you, unfortunately, but your knowledge base is important. You have to keep learning. They call it the practice of medicine for a reason. It's changing. We change what we do. We practice something, it works, it doesn't work. Like, that's how it goes, okay? Hopefully we'll get rid of C colors very soon. That would be awesome. You've got to keep up on your skills proficiency. If you're really proficient with your skills, it becomes a second nature, and it gives your brain a lot more room to think about all the other things. Go in and push yourself. When you go to train, if you are fortunate enough to work at an agency with a really good educator, a good EMS chief, a good EMS captain, somebody who's going to push you, go in and fail. That's the point of the training. Push yourself so hard that you fail. Because that's where I want to fail. I don't want to fail when I'm doing it for real. I want to push myself so hard so I know my limits, so I don't fail when it's time. Take care of your physical fitness. There are too many people that I've known over the years that have knee problems and back problems, shoulder problems. My back hurts right now just thinking about it. Move around. Try stretching. It's pretty amazing, believe it or not. Eat some good food. Take care of your body. Try and sleep a little bit. Maybe lay off the energy drinks. Drink some water. It's pretty amazing. And then to do this job, of course, you're going to need some mental fortitude. Like, a lot of the job is what it is. This job does beat people up, but take care of each other. Know that you can do this, even on the hard days. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can do a thing or you think you can't do a thing, you're right. So what will people remember about how great you are? Some of the greatest compliments that I've ever received in my career came months or years after a call. And they weren't like big raving reviews and, paragraphs, 5 stars, all that stuff. They were just simple statements. He was so kind. He really listened to us. He was calm and confident, and it made me comfortable. Sometimes that's all it takes. You guys learned all this crazy stuff, right? All the worst case scenarios. Here's how you do this. Follow this algorithm. The Krebs cycle, action potential, all the things. And yeah, those things are important. But now that you have the ability, because you're not getting hammered with school all the time, taking some time to develop your people care skills is really what will carry you to be a master of your craft. And really, if you ever run that call, the chief's wife, like, that's what they're going to remember too, is your bedside manner. This book is called People Care. This is the 3rd edition. It's by a guy named Tom Dick, whereas we knew him, Tom Hilson. Sean and I were both fortunate enough to work with Tom at this little nothing agency in Denver called Aims Paramedic Services. It's really where we learned everything. We got our foundation on how to take care of people and be good paramedics. And Tom says, the truth about being a street medic is this. It's about helping people in their own time and on their own terms. Mostly, helping people is work. And there's a reason we call it that. It mandates the desire to be a caregiver, and it requires special gifts. Gifts like intelligence, compassion, patience, gentleness, kindness, humility, and perhaps a sense of humor. Not even the best teachers can impart these things. It's true. I can't teach you, if I had all the time in the world, how to master your craft. I can give you some pieces of advice, but it's truly going to come down to that person in the mirror. That would have been a good Michael Jackson reference right there. You know, like the man in the mirror. Like, yeah, we could maybe on the next one. We'll do that next time. Truly, thank you for your time. And thank you for choosing such a noble profession, a truly thankless profession. There will be a lot of news stories and news articles written about the things that you guys will do. You won't be mentioned in any of them, but they'll happen. And when you're frustrated about that, and you're frustrated at 3 o'clock in the morning, running the frequent flyer, just try to remember that why. Try to remember that first day of EMT school. Go check that out if you ever had the chance, truly. If you are afforded the opportunity, sit in on an EMT class within the first 2 weeks and just watch them. They're learning how to take blood pressures and like put their pants on, and like it's they don't even know what they're doing. And you guys can see how far you've come. But it's amazing to see that. Not only how far you've come, but the zest in their eyes and the excitement that they have about taking care of people. Remember that why. And go out there and be a master of your craft. Thank you.
No, I didn't sign yet. So
Okay, sweet.
yeah, truly one of my, actually is my EMS hero, and the speech about master your craft. This is where I got that instilled so deeply in me that it's what makes me drive all the way here from Texas every year to teach again. So, thanks, man. Oh, all right. What do you say we start letting the students have some fun? We're going to get on to awards. Awards are fun. They're fun for many reasons, one of which is that I finally get to make Tara come up on stage with me. And I didn't see any of our other faculty or staff here, so we're going to have to do it together. Okay. Before we do the individual awards, I just want to take some time to recognize all the students and what they have accomplished this year. And again, many of them still working full-time. These guys have completed 51 college credits over 2 to 3 semesters. They've completed 360 hours of lecture, 70 classroom and homework assignments, 24 module exams, 8 final exams, 35 online module exams, 205 hours of lab, over 125 skills, at least 75 scenarios that they team led, 180 hours of hospital clinicals, 500 hours of an internship, and countless numbers of patient contacts and patient reports. And they had to deal with me as an interim director and somehow navigate all that. So with that, let's please give a round of applause to all the students who completed that today. The staff that couldn't join us up here, Tara and I, Pam Howes, Emily Harkless, Maura Concialdi, Natalie Perry, and Dave Jacoby are all major roles in these guys completing, and they're fairly upset they can't be here. except for Dave. He's on the beach in Florida, as usual. So the first award that we're going to hand out, and as I do this, guys, if you could please come this way and exit this way. And we will do that later when we have you guys come up and pin so you can exit, enter, exit, see how well that goes. I'll bet that goes as well as me not like almost crying again for the third time. So the first award is a special award because it's the excellence in cardiology. And cardiology is one of those calls where a paramedic can actually make a difference. And I don't mean that we don't actually make a difference all the time, but medically speaking, it's one of the times where we can really change the outcome of patient care, whether it's recognizing a heart attack or a life-threatening dysrhythmia. So the Excellence in Cardiology Award, it goes to the student who over the course of the entire paramedic program through cardiology lecture class has achieved the highest grade in the classroom, over all the homework assignments, all the exams, all the labs, all the skills that we've performed. This is the person with the highest score in cardiology for each cohort. This year for the accelerated paramedic program, that award goes to Jeffrey Sanchez. I get a couple of them. Our primary for the traditional program isn't here tonight, so I get to do both. Unless you want to do both. You're good? Yeah. Oh, that's shocking. This year for the traditional cohort, that award goes to Sean Kerrigan. I really wish that the students faced you guys so you could see the look on Sean's face when I announced his name. Me? I thought about like kidding, but no, that's not fair. Sarah.
So unfortunately, the recipient of the Thompson Valley cohort's Excellence in Cardiology is not here today, but that award will be going to Chase Pommering. So give a round of applause for him. Hopefully he's online right now watching us.
Every year, it is my class that doesn't show for the awards, and this year it gets to be Tara, and that just makes me really excited. Chase is out, saving lives, making a difference, and he couldn't get coverage to be here today, so he's out doing excellence in cardiology, I'm sure. That was my predecessor's favorite award because he's kind of a cardiology nerd, and since he left the program, cardiology's really gone down in this building. It's pretty good with Tara, but in this building, it's rough. This award coming up, the second seed award, is my personal favorite. For the past, 3 months while you're in your field internships, you've been in a third seat role. The students are in a third seat, and a lot of times that's backwards on a rig, right? So there's two people in the front, and they're driving, and the student's sitting in the back wondering where we're going, and they're kind of leaning through what we call the doghouse, trying to just figure out what's going on, and we call that the third seat because they haven't earned the privilege of working in the front or working directly with a partner. Now, the second seat award doesn't necessarily go to the highest academic performance, but not that that student would be excluded. But this award goes to the student whom which a person would want to work with side by side for 12, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. And it's not a number. It's voted on by faculty. It is voted on by their preceptors out in the field, and it's voted on by their fellow students. So the students receiving this award are the ones that everyone wants to work with. Every year, it's a pretty landslide event, to be honest. This year, it was really difficult to narrow it down because no one would give me one answer, everyone wanted to give me 2 or 3, and then I had to add those up, and it was really difficult to narrow it down. So just congratulations to all of you guys for being the types of paramedics that people want to work with. But this year, for the accelerated program, the second seed award goes to Caitlin Cochran. You'd have to do everything. For the traditional cohort this year, that second seed award goes to Lennon Bluskin. Where is he? Oh, he's not here. I'm going to start keeping these awards in my office and hoard them.
Like he was saying, this year we had a bunch of different students who were very close to winning second seed award for Thompson Valley cohort, which makes total sense to me. But I do have to award it to one person, and that one person is going to be Derek Richard.
Okay. Okay. The salutatorian award is the next award to give out, and this is the student with the second highest academic grade when you combine all the points possible for the entire paramedic program. In addition to the high academic standards that these students set, they also performed very well in lab and clinical and received high scores there. The salutatorian award for the accelerated paramedic program this year goes to Jade Torgerson. And for the traditional cohort, Sean Kerrigan. Too, buddy. Appreciate it.
These are some other numbers that were pretty close, our salutatorian, valedictorian, but once again, it's got to be one person, and this one's going to be Katya. Katya Schutz.
Good job. Okay. Obviously, the valedictorian award goes to the student that achieved the highest academic grade overall. But in addition to these students are also graded in their communication and their performance and their internships. And so outside of that, they're doing many more things that they don't get a number that gets placed on it. Every year, I swear these numbers get narrower and narrower. And I don't know if that's because I'm becoming a worse teacher or I'm just getting better students. No offense to my older students. Or you guys are sharing grades. I don't know what you're doing. But this year, the valedictorian award and the salutatorian award across all 3 cohorts was decided by 2 to 10 points, depending on what cohort you were in. And there are over a couple thousand points to earn in this program. And so it's pretty tremendous how an excellent job you guys did. And those of you who didn't were not far behind. Not at all, not even close. Well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Not even far, but that also doesn't make sense. This year, the valedictorian for the accelerated cohort is Jeffrey Sanchez. Buddy. Okay. And for the traditional cohort, Caitlin Cox. Congratulations. Well done.
And unfortunately, it's going to be the same student who won our excellence in cardiology. It's going to be Chase. I did just get a little text message. He is watching us, so congratulations, Chase.
Okay, here's the best part of the evening. Unless you like cookies, then the best part's in like 10 minutes. This is going to be the class pinning and handing out challenge coins. I thought about giving a speech about challenge coins, but it'd get me all crying again, so I'm just not going to do it this year. But as quickly as I can kind of just say it, is the challenge coin is you're welcoming into a family. And so you should always carry it on you, because if you don't, you will definitely be buying me a drink, because I'm the one handing them to you this year. That, in the reverse, if you ever catch me without mine, I will owe you much more. So the challenge coin is kind of a welcoming to the family. If you look up the roots from the military, I encourage you to do that. It's a tradition that has somewhat become lost in EMS, and we should get it back. We should work harder to get it back. It's one of the coolest memories, or a lot of the coolest memories I have in EMS have to do with challenge coins. So I encourage you to look up or look into why we have them and when you should receive them. So at this time, we're going to have the students come up one by one, and we're going to have them bring up the family member or family members that they selected to pin them. Somebody please poke somebody. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But the students as well, I want you to just say a few words about the family member that you're bringing up and why they were special in the in your schooling and your process. So we'll have those students come up. We'll start with the accelerated class. Brett Blatzer. Who are you bringing up with us?
My wife. Thanks for coming, everyone. I'm bringing up my wife and my son, Patrick, here. My wife, Mihan. I would not have been able to do this without her. She held down the house. She was also pregnant during didactics and delivered my daughter in February. So without her, I would have not gotten no studying done. I would not have been successful. So that's why I brought her up.
Did you get it? Yeah. I told you. Brett's pretending that I didn't inform them that they would have to speak. And as I'm looking at my students, they're all shaking their heads that I didn't tell them. This happened last year. And it's going to happen again next year. Caitlin Cochran. I told you.
All the notes, and he's like, "We have to make a speech, right?" Thank you. Okay, I am bringing my preceptor from my 500 hours, Miss Caitlin Riggs. She has other nicknames as well, but they're not appropriate for this ceremony. But feel free to ask her boss. He's somewhere in the crowd. Oh, he's right there. If anyone wants to know her nickname, ask that tall man right there with the baby. And he was also my lieutenant at my Frederick Firestone 500 hours. So big shout out to those guys, and specifically to Caitlin. Wouldn't have gotten through class, and now I'm going to try not to cry.
It's okay, Bertie.
Of course it's us. Of course it's you and I. How many times did Sean and I cry, just the two of us in class? Yeah. But yeah, wouldn't have gotten through any of that without you. So thanks for being a mentor and a friend and family.
Chris Decker. Yeah, boss. You shake my hand. Oh, thank you, thank you. You do not have to speak. Huh? You do not have to speak.
I want to thank everybody. I got my wife Paige coming up. I just couldn't have done it without her. All of her support. The rest of my family out there couldn't have done it without them. I want to thank Frederick Firestone for sponsoring me, sending me to paramedic school, and then also Greeley Fire and my preceptor Wes. He was awesome. So, just want to thank everybody. Couldn't have done it without them. So, thank you.
Oh, I did upset.
No, no.
No, I was like.
Alden Foot.
Thanks to everybody for coming out. I want to thank my wife and my two beautiful daughters that are sitting over there. I also want to thank all the friends and family that came out. This is really special for me. And I also want to thank Greeley Fire for giving me the opportunity to do this and go to class and better the department. Thank you.
And I don't see Eric in the crowd, and I know Eric Montague, he had informed me that he would not be able to make it today. So let's just give a round of applause for Eric. Hopefully he's out there watching. Okay. And I don't... Hector, are you here? Hector Lopez, also not here. Okay, now we're even now. We're even. Let's give a round of applause for Hector Lopez. My students somewhat have an excuse. They have been out practicing as medics for a couple months, and so they're all busy, I guess, and really important people now, so they don't have time for me. Jeff Sanchez. I shake your hand too many times today.
So I have my sister Kelsey coming to pin me. There's been a lot of people that have helped me get to where I am today, but nobody's been there as long as you have. Thank you.
And you know you have to hang out for a second, right? Or do you guys do it out there?
So Thompson Valley has a special thing that we do when we have one of our students graduate. While we kind of stole Jeff during his internship program, we stole him from AMR. Sorry, guys. We do a patch ripping ceremony to basically show like when we switch over from an EMT to a paramedic. And it's a tradition we started a few years ago. And for this tradition, we wanted to have the preceptors of those EMTs be the one to rip off their patch. So this one is going to be on Noah, who's one of our alumni actually from the first cohort. And he's going to be ripping off Jeff Sanchez's patch.
That always makes me so nervous. Derek Stockton.
Congrats. Thank you. Sure. Cool. Thank you.
First off, I just want to thank South Adams County for supporting me, Chief Knoll, Chief Jap. I appreciate you guys driving up here. I'm going to bring up my wife. Throughout paramedic school, I've heard like it can be strainful on relationships. We didn't feel that in the slightest. So, Haley, you make me a better person every day, and I love you.
Okay, Jade Torgerson. I know you wouldn't lie to me. I definitely told you guys you were speaking, right? Only you. Only you? Oh, only you.
So I have 3 members of my chosen family. They're all my emotional support paramedics with me here today. But Nathan Miller, second seat award winner of last year, is going to be the person pinning me. He paved the way right before I did. He was my paramedic intern right before I came to school. And without my whole chosen family, I wouldn't be here today.
Okay, from the traditional class, Lennon Bleskin. Let's give him a round of applause. For you future paramedics, that's the pain. Your name's going to be said multiple times. You won't be here. It's embarrassing. So come to graduation. Sage Blessing. Congratulations, bro. Thank you.
All right, so coming up is Nicole Zorn. She's my girlfriend, and she's been with me from the very start of EMT school all the way up through my advanced class, through Fire Academy, and now through paramedic school. She's stayed strong, dealt with me through the many hours of not being at home for weeks at a time. I'd also like to thank my chief here, Chase Bridgman, and Angie Mitchell, our now EMS help coordinator, who both have supported me strongly through this entire process. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations again. Okay, Sean Kerrigan. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. I have my parents here somewhere. My mom's right there. I'm bringing both my parents up here. I would not know where I would be without them. They've got to listen to me come home numerous times at night asking myself, what the hell am I doing? Why did I get myself into this? And they've been able to coach me through all these different ups and downs. I would also like to thank all of my classmates and all of my different friends and family for supporting me throughout this entire process of paramedic school. Thank you.
Caitlin Cox. Congratulations. Well done.
All right, so I have my uncle, Mitch Cox, coming up. Mitch is a paramedic and showed me an ambulance when I was 3 years old, and I fell in love with it. Anyone who knows Mitch knows that he's the best role model around, and I've been lucky enough to have him around my entire life.
And Dennis Jackson. Round of applause for Dennis. He's also not here. Ashley Packer. Actually. Congratulations.
I'd just like to take a minute to, well, this has been a great program. I just want to thank my husband here. He's been through a lot, even EMT school and everything, and he's always been really good at telling me I can still go on and complete everything.
And Gabriel Ponticelli. Is it Ponticelli or Ponticelli? That's so much cooler than I said. Congratulations.
I want to bring up both of my parents. They've been there since the beginning, and I genuinely could not have done this without them. I also want to thank UC Health for letting me intern, and Ruben Archuleta for being my prompter.
Hello. Kyle Sutton. Oh, we got a fan club in here. Always, brother. Congratulations, man. My pleasure. Wife and mom and dad.
So as Suttons, generally we cry when you get the microphone. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Thank you to my entire cohort. You guys have been amazing. Thank you to everybody who showed up for me. Alexa, mom, dad. It's been an amazing ride. Thank you to my two beautiful kids, Mason and Mason. I couldn't have done it without all you guys. I love you all very much. And cheers, guys.
Guys, again. It's nice to meet you guys. And Leonardo Zamora. Where are you? There you are. Can I have you pin me? Yeah, Leo's asked me to pin him. That's cool. Thank you. Good stuff, though, buddy. Whoa, wait a minute, though. You have to say why. Is that how you were going to get out of speaking?
Nope. I'm having Sean pin me, but none of this would have been possible without the support of my friends, family, loved ones, and my classmates here. Thank you.
All right. I did give my students some preparation for their speech, like 20 minutes ago, I think. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Leilani.
Hi, so I'd like to thank everyone for being here, all of my families, thank you. I'd like for my mom to go ahead and pin me. She's been here. I swore I wouldn't cry. She's been here through everything, and just thank you, Mom.
All right, next we have Shaylin.
I'm having my husband Joe come up and pin me. I do have a lot of family here also that have supported me all the way through paramedic school and everything else, including everyone who has taught me and precepted me all the way through. So thank you, everyone.
And for the patch ripping ceremony, we have Crystal Evans, who's also an alumni of our first cohort. Good job. All right. Next would be Chase. Once again, sorry he can't be here today, but hopefully we'll get him to his pin soon. I'll have it at my office probably, Chase. The next will be Jace Purdy.
Hi, thank you everybody for being here. I've invited my girlfriend Bryden of nearly 5 years up here to pin me. I've put her through a whole lot between EMT school and medic school, and I couldn't be more thankful for her support. I'd also like to say thank you to Thompson for taking me for internship and allowing me into their cohort. And of course my family in the back as well, my mom and dad, and my grandpa, he's somewhere in here, and grandma for their support as well. So thank you.
All right. Next, we're going to have Derek Richard come up.
I'm having my wife, Courtney, come up to pin me. She's just been such a solid foundation, and she's always pushing me to be better. And I couldn't be more blessed to have her and my family here. A lot of them are first responders, and a lot of us in this field aren't as blessed as me to be able to debrief calls with some of the more gruesome details, and I'll always be able to talk about those with them. So I'm super blessed.
And Derek's preceptor, Lexi, is going to be ripping his patch. Let's go down. Figure it out later. And now we'll have Matt Siebert come up.
I chose my wife Olivia and my son Thomas to pin me. Olivia and I actually met in this building 8 years ago during EMT school. She's been my biggest fan and supporter through this whole program. Thanks to friends and family, and also thanks to Greeley Fire for taking me on for internship.
buddy. All right, now I'll have Katya come up.
I've had a lot of support through this program. Up here, I have my husband Mike and my youngest son AJ. Also here with me is my best friend Uta and my godson Jake. But Mike's been my unfair advantage through the whole thing, supporting me financially very well, cooking for me, and he's never surprised when I tell him that I did something good. So, oh, my daughter Zoe is also online watching us.
All right, last one up is going to be Sarah Cesarba.
I'm Sarah. I'm going to have my mom come up. I didn't tell her beforehand. Sorry, Mom. I'd just like to thank Thompson Valley for sending me and sponsoring me through school, and then I thank my family for all the support they've given me through the whole program.
And then we'll have Ethan ripping her patch. Here you go.
Okay. While I find my place, let's just one big round of applause for everybody this year. I also, as I was standing up here thinking about the thankless jobs that a few folks are doing, we're capturing some wonderful photographs. Unfortunately, I've been up here the whole time, so I'm sure there's some doozies of me. But we are capturing this moment with our photographers. We have audio visual in the back. And this is the first year that we've done a live broadcast, so those family members who can't come and join us are able to join us in spirit and see. So a nice round of applause for all those people that put this together today. Well, it's that time of night where everybody's getting hot in here and we're ready to go. So I'll keep it short. As we turn the page of this new chapter, let us do so with pride, purpose, and hope. To the graduates, you are stepping into a world that truly needs your courage, your knowledge, and your hearts. And you're ready. Right? You carry with you the legacy of those that came before you, the strength of those who stood with you, and the promise of the lives that you have yet to touch. Tonight, we don't just celebrate what you have achieved, but we celebrate the people that you have become, who you've become. So congratulations to the class of 2024 to 2025. The world's waiting. You're more than ready to answer the call. And it is my honor to now not address you as students, but as my colleagues and hopefully my friends. So thank you, everyone who has joined us this evening. My hat is off to you. You have produced some phenomenal people. And I just, from my heart, can't say enough good words about the great people here this afternoon. So enjoy some water, some cookies, and one big round of applause for everybody else. And come say hi to me, please.